No, this is not a medical video. Today we're going to be pour painting with syringes. Have you tried it? Hi everyone and welcome to The Well-Educated Artist. Today we are going to be pour painting with syringes. Why use syringes, you might ask? Because they often don't get the air bubbles that you get with condiment bottles, so you don't have that paint splatter that you sometimes get when you want to have control. So it allows you to have more control. Now you may have seen me do a painting before with acrylic ink over acrylic pour paint and underwater painting. If you haven't seen that painting, check it out. The syringe allows a lot of control, and I can just fill them up from little cups, and you can use silicone or not use silicone. For here, I don't want to use silicone because I'm looking for more graphic design and precision. So I easily can fill these up, and I can refill them from the cup as many times as I need to. So you just fill them up, and I'm going to fill up each one of my syringes with my colors. In this case, it's lime green, and then primary yellow, and then I'm going to use viridian, which I often use, and phthalo blue, and actually violet or purple. Once those are filled up, which is relatively easy, I can begin my painting. In this painting, I'm really just going to be doing lots of circles, so this is super easy for a beginner to just try out the use of syringes. So I'm just going to put dollops of paint, try to keep them around the same size, and I'm just going in a diagonal line, but you really can do this any way you want, any design you want. I'm going to be just spreading them over the page. So I'm just going to try to space them out fairly evenly. I'm not the best spacer here, and I'm going to put my dots of color. Now I'm going to be layering color. So first I need to get my dots down, and I can, as you see, refill them fairly easy when I run out. And since I have lots of dots to do for this space, then I'm going to probably have to fill it a couple of times. But if you have your paint already out and ready to go, there's no problem. I'm just going to hurry on through, getting all of these paint drops down onto the canvas. Now you can move on to your next color. In this case, it's blue. And it gets really easy as you go along. You have so much control. When you do the second, the third, or the fourth rounds of color, it gets really, really easy to do that because you have so much control and you know exactly where you're going, in this case with all of the dots. You can make really cool graphics with this. You can even make animal prints, which is what I'm probably going to be doing here. Now that would be a really weird color set for animal prints, but you can make something like a cheetah or some of the larger cat designs doing this just by what you do with your colors and how you treat your dots. So it's just a fun thing to do and try something new instead of just putting all that color down on the canvas and tilting. You still get to tilt with this, but you have a little bit more control on how the paint goes down on the canvas. Now I'm just going to be going through each of my colors and getting them down. This is primary yellow, and it definitely shows up well on this canvas, and it'll just take me a minute to get through these. The next color I'm going to be putting down is my lime green in this next set of dots. And I tend to make smaller dots as I move forward. So my largest dot of paint is going to be in the beginning, and it's also going to have spread the most. And then as I move forward, I make smaller dots. You can see that the lime green is really, really quick because it's just really small dots inside of the yellow. Now I'm also going to add dots in between my dots, and I'm just going to use my lime green since I have plenty of it left. Now it'd be really cool if you used a different color set than the one I'm using. I'm keeping this pretty subdued here. So I'm just going to go through and put some lime green in between just for some visual interest, and I'm going to build up these dots as well. Once my green is down, I can now put my yellow on top. You can notice these are a lot smaller, but I just can quickly go through and layer those dots. In turn, I can also layer in my viridian blue, and I'm only going to be using 3 colors for this one. I'm not going to go ahead and add purple just so that there'll be a little difference in between these when I go to tilt. Now, once I've done this, I am going to be adding white around my dots. I didn't put down the white originally because when you do that, your dots will float. They will tend to move in the paint, and especially if your table is not quite even, you're really going to see a lot of movements in the dots, they're obviously going to move because this is pour paint. Now this is just titanium white pour paint with a little bit of pearl paint mixed in. So I'm going around the circles and getting out a lot of stress here. It takes a few minutes to get this done, and we need it so that it will flow. Now I am going to take my skewer and I am just going to give a couple of lines over my dots. Now I could have left these round. You can see they're already floating into the white paint because this is pour paint. This is fluid art. It is fluid. But I want to give this something extra. You could do as many marks as you want. It'll give it a flower look if you continue to make the marks. And I love to use my skewer. So you can do this and just see what you like and how it turns out. Now, once you're done, you just begin your tilting. There's not a huge amount of paint, so you're not wasting a lot of paint with this one. You won't have poor skins. If you haven't seen all my skins videos, you can check out what to do with all that leftover paint. But this particular design, because the way we did it and the control we had, we did not use a lot of extra paint. And as you can see, this is looking very much more graphic. You're getting a lot of continuity in this. It almost has a wallpaper feel, but you can see that the colors were different. It might look more like a cheetah or a jaguar print. I'm just going to touch up the sides a little bit. There's always some places that need to be touched up, especially when you're using so little paint to go over the sides. But I'm just going to give it a little bit of a torch to get out any of the air bubbles, and I'm just going to quit with this. I'm not going to do any more tilting. You can just see, just to leave it very that continuous graphic that looks kind of like wallpaper. So if you want something new, try to use control with syringes. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below on how you like to use syringes to pour paint. Thanks for watching.